doesn't deserve all the praise they've been getting. MSP was a fluke. They performed well there, but from this point forward, they're not going to be better than us. So let's see if PK can make that statement. District to start us off. This is a great map for VQ, so already PK, they got their work cut out for them.
Yeah, I think PK has to come out strong on this initial. They can't get steamrolled by VQ because VQ is a team that as you give them momentum, they're just going to continuously get better. They're not going to slow down. Even if they down 60 points, they're going to figure out a way to brute force their way to some sort of a lead. But you already see the overextension towards the bottom half of the map. Sumuns trying to get that extra angle. He already got the instance. Acells seemingly being the target, but Dezonide goes down. Monkyz with the boom shot. This is exactly what they need, but both of those players getting eliminated towards the top half of the map is going to allow VQ to get themselves a little bit of a cushion before PK can answer back.
Already good start for VQ as a whole. I'm going to go ahead and take a peek once again. So the Monkyz, I'm curious what he's going to decide to do at this moment. Looks like he's going to be rotating on the right side. Very curious how this next hill is going to play out. Obviously, that's what I'm kind of looking forward to myself. And it looks like PK is setting up to stop VQ on the rotation for the new hill. This could be great for PK because you have to assume VQ is going to be spawning out, especially because Raver is going to be down low and PK controls the right side of the map. So even though VQ takes a commanding lead off of that first hill, VQ has to rotate off early because they understand it's going to be a very big battle for the new.
You see already Monkyz holding on to that early boom shot that he had. And that's where I always tell people, you have to be very, very aware. You have to be very careful because, yeah, you might get an elimination, but an elimination might mean nothing. You used your boom shot that allows them, once they spawn back up, to get right back in the field and brute force their way through once again. But there goes a boom shot towards the top. Splash damage is going to be enough to help out Raver. And there goes 3 big eliminations, one right after the next for PK. And this is the early start what they need. With 71 seconds left on this hill, they can certainly get this lead right back, but they're gonna have to go through another retake attempt. And Hndles made that first elimination look easy. Flashes to create a disruption. Revive coming through. This is looking good for VQ, especially as Monkyz goes down.
Without question, when VQ Wolfpacks together, they are one of the best teams and hardest teams to defend against. Now, I would say Fire and Ice is most likely the closest one. PK used to be that team when they Wolfpack. You couldn't stop them, but they are a shell of what they used to be. And I hate to sound critical, but that is an absolute fact until PK starts to step up and show us why they were the most dominant team for so long in Latin America. Precision will pick up that fresh instant. He's going to have 2 to his name. 40 seconds remain on the neck. On this hill, Dezo's going to pick up the boom, and they're going to go for one more attempt. But Dezo's down. Does he get finished? He does, and the boom is gone.
Not the way you want to start it, but talk about the boom being gone. This is the opportunity to kind of use this momentum, continue to build it on, and someone's playing the team game, backtracking, but he has to be careful. Instants are creating that separation, which basically cost him his life. Raver's doing what he can, but still so much damage, and I don't even know how that instant spread as far as it did, but Raver doing a good job of buying the time. The elimination comes through, but Dezonide gets one. He gets taken out by Hndles late into this one, but just a few seconds left on this hill. Vanquish throughout the first 2 hills have a massive amount of control.
Massive amount of control indeed, and it's only going to get worse for PK from this point forward. They've got to be careful. They've got to make the most of each team engagement, and once again, much like that last hill, they rotate early. They set up very well. They've got spawn control, but VQ, are they going to be able for a second time able to brute force their way through the defensive setup of PK? Only time will tell, but if they do this a second time, I think all hope is lost for this map.
The amount of effort that you make as a team. I know Colin's not here to count the battles, but you can almost see it lined up in the scoreline. PK do a good job of not only solidifying the eliminations, but getting control of the hill. But I think that's going to be it from Hndles. I think he should have staggered out the depth of Sumuns just a little bit more, but that gives them a little bit of an advantage that they can just take quick control of the situation. You see the spawn out from Sumuns as well, and luckily for Vanquish, they're attacking in the middle and the bottom half of the map, so that Lancer fire is not going to be there for Sumuns. At least not right away.
Yeah, not right away, but it definitely would have helped, wouldn't it? But either way, Raver's going to be able to get some damage. Still 40 seconds remain. That's a lot of time for PK to be able to close this gap, but slowly but surely, VQ starts to move forward. Got a battle on the other side. Player 2 will win that, so Sumuns should be able to get onto the backside of the VQ boys, but I guess he's going to go ahead and back off, go and join Monkyz. Monkyz picks up the fresh boom. VQ start to accumulate some decent points. And once again, PK setting up early for the next hill, forcing VQ to rotate into them. Now, if I will say this, if PK continues to rotate as they are, despite maybe a shaky start at the first 2 hills, we got a long round to go on District. They might have a distinct advantage here, so VQ might want to start prioritizing the rotations a little bit more, or else PK could, in fact, slowly but surely start chipping away and coming back.
Yeah, they can definitely chip away, come back into this one, especially with a good hold onto this neutral hill. But if this continues to go back and forth, it's going to be up to PK to either defensively stop or offensively break through the defense of VQ. There, right now, it's going to be a good hold. They're forcing them out, but the hill has not popped yet. Someone's going to be the first one to go down. That's going to open it up. Talk about needing a defensive stop. Now you need one more than ever. Big elimination on to Precision. I do believe he got the second instance. No, he just picked up his flash right back up, and now he's being contested. Back ace for both of these players. Acells is going to be the first to the charge. Reinforcements came through from Raver, but Raver gets taken out. Monkyz gets one, but he gets taken out as well. It does look like VQ are holding on to this hill and breaking through the defense of the Pittsburgh Knights.
I think it's the big thing, right? They broke through. Now they can hold on to the hill and start accumulating those points. I believe PK goes from 48 to 55, if I'm not mistaken. So, just getting 7 points off of that early rotation, that early defensive setup. Great angle from Xysho. And again, District, when it comes to control, is all about those angles. That's why Rise is so successful here. VQ clearly just as successful. They beat them in MSP. They pretty much dominated this map when they played. But regardless, though, love what I'm seeing at Hndles. Great pressure on the Dezo, takes him out. You have a couple of PK members push in, but it's going to be short-lived. You have to assume Raver's gone, and those 2 players are out of the way. And VQ getting dangerously far ahead of PK.
Yeah, it's the overall team game, being able to hold on to these hills, offensively break through the defense of PK, and they're just getting staggered around. This is the danger zone right now, the middle portions of the game, with a 100-point lead. This is where if you're the Pittsburgh Knights, you're either going to sink or swim against this aggressive Vanquish squad. They have Instance as well coming up from the bottom half of the map. That's going to go up against Monkyz. He has to try to stall by the time needed, so his team can not only get some points, but hopefully get the eliminations in the top part of the map.
I think it's the first time he's had it. Great shot. Get Dezo out of the corner. Now you can focus on Raver, who's just up ahead. Meanwhile, Xysho keeping Monkyz busy. Or is Monkyz keeping Xysho busy? I guess at this point, it's Xysho keeping Monkyz busy because he's by himself, forced to go forward because he knows the fight was lost on the hill. Monkyz ultimately will lose his life, and that was a great job from Xysho, kind of playing that overhanging role, being able to count numbers, but most importantly, not allowing VQ to get Lancer to stay pursued into the hill. VQ's going to easily break the 200-point mark here. You have to assume VK spawns out. Player 2 and 4 dragging a little bit behind. Sumuns and Monkyz took a couple of seconds to start moving forward, and I don't know if they're already getting discouraged here, but you have to assume they're not. Let's see if they can fight back, but things are looking dreary.
Yeah, depending on how this fight goes, if you die first on the side of PK, you go to next hill. You still have to try to contest this hill. 30 seconds left. You don't want to let them continue to build onto that lead. But if you die first, man, you better rotate next. Someone needs to figure out a way to stay alive. Not allow for Precision to break through as he continues to try to get that cross towards the top. One elimination coming through. Chain revives being forced on the side of PK. They're getting some time onto this hill. And like I said, if you're going to be the first to get eliminated, you go ahead and extend out, play for next. And because nobody really got eliminated except for Dezonide late into this one, you see Sumuns breaking away towards the bottom half of the map, and they're setting up for next a little early.
Say setting up for next early, but is it going to pay off? I don't know. PK's been doing that pretty consistently, but it's just not paying off at all, literally every single time, because VQ does such a good job in those team fights. And now with VQ setting up early, PK is in an even worse spot than they've ever been. Sumuns is down. Monkyz now forced to back up. He hasn't had a terrible game, really, but it's kind of just a team effort at this point. And PK as a team just not fired on all cylinders, just highly unfortunate. Acells will pick up the 2 instants, so he has a pair to his name. And with VQ already on this hill, they're not going to win from this one, but they could put PK in a spot to where it's almost impossible to come back. I mean, they're only at 58 points.
It's not impossible, but it's definitely not probable here. VK need a miracle on their side the way this game has been going. Even though there's what, 82 points? That's a hill and half for the hill on the side of Vanquish, I should say, but a big double kill from Xysho. Another down coming through from Monkyz. I do believe that's 4 players dead at one time or another, and they're continuing to stagger out these deaths. PK right now, they have to stop the bleeding here. They have to go ahead and either concede this time, concede this hill, get up as 4, because right now they're just playing individual. They're hoping that they go a 1-up. They're hoping they win the individual battles, and that can bleed into the team game. Luckily for them, it's working so far this late in the game, but how much can you bank on that?
Not a lot, because there's going to be Xysho with a nice connection. Dezo is by himself, but Xysho, will he be able to clutch up in this moment? Maybe. He's going to back up, but quite honestly, you don't have to commit your life. You don't have to commit everything, but it seems as if they're going to be doing so. Acells will get it down onto 1, but it's not going to be enough. Dezo gets to pick up. Xysho still battling out in the 1v2. Dezo goes for the mantle. He's going to be finished off. Sumuns down to 1v, and he is going to be finished off, and Xysho, against all odds, wins the fight for the scrap time, but honestly, I think that was more for glory than the points itself.
Yeah, they're just not only putting them down, they're kicking them while they're down. VQ is just taking over this game, and I'm not sure PK has shown any life or any signs of being able to come back. They might show little hopes, they might show little glimpses, but it's not being executed as a full team. And once again, they're just getting overwhelmed. Those two players get taken down, but if you look at Sumuns, if you look at everybody else is located, it's just around the map. 60 seconds left on the hill. That's enough for VQ to win, and they get another boom shot under their belt into the hands of Xysho. Luckily for Sumuns, you need to figure out a way to get this down. You guys need to get this elimination. It looks like it's going to come through, but that's not going to be a boom shot on the ground for PK to use. So they have to continue. They can't slow down here.
You can't slow down indeed. I mean, PK at this point, just pedal to the metal. They got to go for it. They've got to make this happen, and that's going to be a good team fight, but many more need to be won from this point forward. VQ, will they be able to win off the next one? Will they be able to win off the current? Well, the possibilities are there. Still 30 seconds remain. That's just enough. But as the time dwindles away, they can only get close, but they will not at least go over the finish line. But still, again, PK having to play flawlessly, getting closer than they ever have in terms of closing out the deficit. Still, though, Hndles goes for the challenge. Sumuns is down. And any point VQ gets that Hndles is able to accrue, again, they're not going to be able to surpass that finish line, Jacob, but they can put themselves dangerously close to the point where VQ just has to fight for scrap time. And quite honestly, I think this hill is where it's going to end.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thorn in the side right now is going to be Hndles. When he starts getting into the mix, when this hill does swap on over, he's going to be a thorn in the side. Great crossfire towards the backside. He gets caught slipping. That's going to be big from Monkyz, but 4 seconds left. Make it 3. Monkyz not able to touch the hill, and Vanquish will continue their domination from the mid-split playoff and take map number 1 against PK.
Huge moves from VQ. They played absolutely just out of this world. They really did. You mentioned Hndles popping up. When he pops off, VQ is in good hands. Xysho, want to give him credit, by the way, did a phenomenal job finding those off angles, and I think counting numbers in general, his positioning was imperative to the success of VQ. Let's not forget, he is the IGL for this roster, so it's important for him to have those off angles, have that positioning, to be able to call out to his team where PK is going so they can adjust accordingly, whether it be for numbers or focus fire. Xysho is instrumental in that success, but well done collectively from VQ. I think across the board, they were all within 1 elimination of each other, which is pretty crazy. But the reason why those eliminations were so close, Jacob, is because every team fight they got into, it wasn't just a 1 person going for it or 2 people going for it. It was literally all 4 members from VQ attacking the hill at the same exact time and piggybacking off of each other's assists, piggybacking off of each other's shots and focus fire. I mean, they played it to a T. PK, quite honestly, was never in this round whatsoever.
Honestly, I feel like that's been the story of the day. United versus Rebel. I think Rebel kind of has that asterisk, being a little bit of a new roster, trying to find themselves. But that second match as well between Hive and Rise, it kind of shows, or at least seems like on paper, I could be wrong by a mile, depending on how these teams practice. It's just like 2 differently matched teams. One team that's playing heavy in the face of aggression, not really worrying about strategy, and another team that can play in aggression, but likes to play towards the full team game, the big picture, stalling, buying time, lancering out. And I think right now VQ, just like earlier matches, are in control of this series, and it's going to take something massive, something big on the side of PK to go ahead and bounce back. But I will say, the only silver lining I see right now in this map cycle is checkout execution. Very little strategy has to go down around that map.
You're right. You're right. I mean, it's because it's that headbutt, right? It's just that kind of 50-50 for the battle for the instance. And, you know, and that, well, you know, for PK, maybe they do, but I don't know. With the only thing that I think is going to work against PK in this moment is, yes, it is in fact very little strategy, but regardless of strategy or not, you still have that headbutt, the big 3v3 that takes place, the solo up top. Granted, he could be impactful, but that 3v3 is what I'm looking at. And for VQ, their team fights were incredible. And anytime that they had really the band together attacking a hill, they were able to easily defeat that of Pittsburgh Knights. So yeah, it's a 50-50, but I think VQ has the slaying power and the teamwork to back it up. PK, look, let's face it, PK hasn't been the same team, that dominant Latin American team, since the Spring Major. They really haven't. When Fire and Ice got second place behind that of EU and PK was finished off earlier on, PK never recovered, and they have never been able to get back into that spotlight.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to kind of pinpoint just one thing. Like I said, if you look at statistically on paper, Monkyz was having performance after performance of his life. But obviously, if you guys are, strangers to Gears Esports, that's not just Monkyz. That's a full team game. How you play around, what your strategy is, don't really know. You can't really pinpoint one particular moment that did change this roster. But I got to agree with you. Since that Spring Major, they've just been very, very underwhelming, going from the top of the leaderboards, going from #1 at one point or another, the best team in Latin America, to now just don't know what to expect of them. Don't know if they're going to have a great performance. Don't know if they're going to keep things close, or kind of like what we saw here. There's just right now, it just looks like they're just showing up. It's just like Marshawn Lynch. They're just here so they don't get fined.
I mean, I think that at this point is the case, and it's unfortunate for Latin America. It really is, because PK's been lackluster, and you have Rebel, right, with the Demon situation, adverse force to replace him. I'm sure Rebel, though, is going to recover and play well once we get closer and closer to the Major. Who knows? Maybe even just a couple of weeks, they'll be just fine. I know the Crack kind of tweeted out, GG to EU. We only had one scrim. It's hard to win off of one scrim, and that's fair enough, right, because it happened so suddenly. But Latin America needs more representation at the top, and right now you got FNI. Right, FNI is kind of that team. Well, who knows, right? We'll see what FNI can be. We haven't seen them play just yet in Phase 2, but I'm sure they'll be just fine. But and I guess Team Queso, right? Team Queso, we don't know what they can bring to the table. Obviously, a new addition. They were once Spanglish, coming out of relegation. Now, of course, because of Spy Gaming and official ruling there, competitive ruling, we see Team Queso into the mix, which great. But again, Latin American team, they need representation, right?
Exactly.
So overall, PK though, like you said, it's just so hard to pinpoint what is their issue, because I don't know. I really don't know.
It just seems like they're just on different pages of how they want to play certain fights. It seems like a lot of players might be overextending in certain situations or not extending enough. I feel like there's a lot of different weaknesses to go down, but unless you're on that roster, pinpointing exactly why things are going on, getting that inside scoop of communication or where it's failing, lack thereof, maybe there's so many different things. It's just all speculation coming from us, and that's the thing. I want to see this team succeed. I never, ever want to see any team fail, especially with the amount of hours from the 12th place team all the way to the #1. I hope for success out of everybody. It's just a matter of the process, the time you put in, if it's the right time, the wrong time, because time alone is not enough.
Time alone isn't enough indeed, but see how this is going to work out. Like you said, when it comes to checkout execution, it's little strategy, but connections like that will make you think twice. Who is the better team overall? It's going to be a 4v3. VQ's not going to waste this opportunity. They have first blood. They taste blood in general, and they're hungry, and they want to finish their entire meal, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Sumuns last alive, and that's going to be a team ace to start off round 1, map 2, execution checkout.
Yeah, 40 seconds, and you can already see it through the start of that game. They were able to get that sniper out, but I don't know how that player kind of got lost towards the plat side. He got eliminated. I do believe it was an Ensign over the top, so already different focuses coming out from both of these teams. The Ensign is going to be the more prevalent one, and if that player was just only able to stay alive, you could have seen that sniper be put to more use.
All right, round number 2. Great connection, though. I think it was it Xysho who got the connection off the rip, maybe, or was it Precision? But either way, Precision is there. He has been marked through the smoke. Look at Acells flying at the team of PK. But he, though, is going to be lost. Well, I guess until now, Acells is gone, and that aggression nips him in the butt. But Raver's down 2, and it's going to be a 3v3.
Yeah, he tries to be the hero of his team instead of just trying to get out alive and be happy with the trade that does come through. And Hndles just immediately making like a banana and splitting on out of there, not giving Sumuns the 1v1 that he absolutely needed in that scenario. That's what I'm saying. If you're not playing aggressive, then you're probably not winning this one, but you got to think outside of the box. It's all about that plat fight. It's all about the lanes. As you saw, a player got attacked in towards the lane, another player going out wide and just making sure to throw those wrinkles every single round. Not doing the same exact thing. Minor differences here is going to be the difference on the side of Vanquish.
Got to find a way to deal with Precision, right? Precision's been doing such a good job on Clep, but I guess this time he's going straight forward. No Precision special, Jacob. We know he loves to go straight in and take you out, and that's going to be 2 members down. Acells finds his own, and I am just absolutely gobsmacked at this point. 3-0, 22nd round of VQ, 3-0 lead.
They just got mollywopped in that round. I don't even know what
Precision,
else to
Acells,
say.
everybody just destroyed them.
And I feel bad for Sumuns. This is very, very similar to when we would talk about a few seasons, even now to this season with Harbor and that 1v1 scenario. If your team is losing that fight, it makes you so hard for you to put in any work. You're almost forced into a bad spot round after round. But it's definitely doable to figure out something here on the side of PK. You just have to figure out a way to stop the bleeding. Sumuns yet again towards the outside, attacking the instance. Acells going to go down though. Xysho gets it down, not able to pick up the elimination just yet. Bunch of chain revives on the side of PK, and they're forcing VQ back, but Xysho makes a game-changing play to bring it down to a 2v2.
Hndles also with the nades onto Monkyz. Xysho, good connection. Hold up. Hndles takes him out. Forces the 1v, and that could have got scary. Anytime you take your teammate down, things could get a bit rough, but same result, 4-0. My goodness, if you blinked, you missed it. What do we got? Raver Sumuns at 0 eliminations, got the assist, but I mean, that's to be expected when you're losing 4-0. Man, Precision is 7-0, 1 death. Hndles 5-1 with 0 deaths. He also has 4 downs. It's crazy.
I would like to see a 4 over by PK, but I don't know. The way Hndles has been playing that, he's probably going to throw those perfect nades over towards flat side. He creates some disruption. It's 3 over. You see Acells trying to lead the charge yet again. Finally, Pittsburgh Lights showing some life, getting first blood. Monkyz going towards the flat side. He needs to be careful. He is going to be a target. He immediately gets taken out. Hndles pushed across. Sumuns now with the advantage towards his backside. And wow, what a sniper shot from Dezo. And honestly, you can agree with me on this one. You don't want to go down 5-0. 4-1 is still a big deficit, but going down 5-0 is such a game changer. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's terrible. You know, no one wants to be at that fat goose egg, right? When you're putting your opponents at map point. But VQ, they let one slip. Let's see if they can win yet another one. Will PK be able to come back? But I believe that was because of, was it Monkyz in that corner? I think Monkyz stayed in the corner, was able to bait out and really spot Precision early on. It was a great read from him. Need a little bit more of that. VQ, though, their aggression is forward, and PK's got to find a way to kind of bait that out and use it to their advantage. Meanwhile, up top, Sumuns is going to be dancing around with player 4, and Hndles is gone, so VQ's got to make a move.
Yeah, both of those players making that mad sprint on over to try to save their teammate. But VQ got it thanks to Acells, but Hndles goes down again. Monkyz gets the trade, 2v2 going down, but this is their opportunity. They need to attack Xysho. Xysho gets down as well. PK with the man advantage. They have the sniper, but going up against Frags, going up against Acells, this is not as easy as it looks.
Not as easy as it looks indeed, but Dezo, we've already seen him pop one head off from VQ. Maybe he can do it just again. Electronics is going to be the overtime hill, but you can see Dezo aiming down sights. He doesn't know where Acells is currently at, so this could be huge if Acells can maybe find an off angle and take him down.
One grenade to use, second one over the top. Trying to create some separation, but he's still stuck in the middle. One sniper shot's going to do him in, and that's a headshot from Dezonide. 2 in a row from PK, showing some life. That's absolutely needed here. Show him that you still have it in you to battle back from no matter what the scoreline is. But this is where I think it kind of comes in for VQ. They're going to switch up the strategy just a little bit. They don't want to allow them to continue to build this momentum.
Not at all. Not at all. If they can bring it 4-3, I'm going to call that the swing round, Jacob, at that point, because PK would be right back in it. They've taken VQ's aggression and they've kind of shoved it down their throat. Precision's going back to the game. Original game plan. Great shot on a Raver. Connects onto the second. Monkyz is down. Dezo as well in a quick round. Looks as if this is about to conclude. Sumuns is gone. That's going to be another team ace kick in the face in VQ. 5-2, 19 seconds. The quickest round we've seen yet. Map point for the boys of Vanquish.
Yeah, I knew they were going to switch something up. They can't continue to let them build momentum doing the same thing over and over. Even if you're confident in yourself, you just need to be smart. You need to have the awareness of when to switch things up and how to switch things up. So perfect opportunity to switch it up, attack that incendiary grenade, something that they weren't doing for those last couple of rounds, but now it's up to the Pittsburgh Knights. Map on the line, 2-0 deficit on the line for the Knights. Gonna have to climb back, but going ahead, returning to the scene of crime. Precision gets those incendiaries again. He goes down, unable to put him to use. Hndles backtracks though. If he can be the hero, they still have instants under their control, but Precision goes down. He burns himself alive. Xysho falls. Hndles trying to be the hero. He gets pistoled out with the headshot. No, it's gonna be a sniper headshot over the top, and Dezonide gets yet another one. 28 seconds left. Backs up against the wall. 5-3.
As soon as I saw his head explode, I already knew. I didn't even need to look at the kill feed. I already knew it was Dezo. You know, Dezo is just so nasty with the sniper. Like, it's stupid how good he is with it. But granted, though, it's a team effort. It's not just up to Dezo, is it? But if you can get him with the sniper, it's going to give you a tremendous advantage. Still, PK stays alive a little bit longer. It's 5-3, and you can't count him out, right? VQ needs to win one more round, but Raver takes a step back from Plat. VQ might be able to spot this and get their hands on the instance. The smoke is still there, but no one takes the bait.
Towards the top. Dezonide trying to put out as much fire as possible, keeping his team anchoring towards the backside. That's going to make those shotgun pushes if his team wants to try to go for an easy one-shot chunk, one shot down, that much easier. But 4 players over from both of these teams. It shows how important this last round is. You call a little bit of a swing round. Vanquish in the driver's seat, one step away from going up 2-0, but it's the Pittsburgh Knights who need to play to perfection here. Raver has the only position in towards the middle lane. He has some people towards the plat to get the cross if needed, but if they attack quickly, it will be a chain revive opportunity for Vanquish. Meanwhile, that's not going to be there for PK.
Tense round. PK understands the importance. Raver and Xysho opposite of each other. I look through the list. Any stuns or anything? I don't think so. No, sir. So it's going to be all gun skill from here. It's going to have that better shot. I believe the overtime hill is down here at checkout. Precision goes for a move, though. Is he going to be met with any resistance? Jesse will. Raver now has an opportunity. Acells doesn't even turn around. He's going to be finished. The last one will fall, and that collapsed. Precision making that move was bold. It really was, but ultimately was his undoing. And my goodness, PK stays alive. It's 5-4. We could be seeing a round 11 shortly.
Yeah, this is where I begin to see the past couple rounds, one of them being successful, one of them not for VQ. They're attacking that plat side. So once again, I do think they're going to switch something up. Maybe bait players into that plat, try to angle them down, or go for that quick attack in towards the middle lane like they were doing early on. Regardless, I think the choice is Vanquish here to try to close it out, but Precision saving that flash grenade. That's going to be the difference here in this strategy for VQ. Gating for the last moment, but his teammate goes down. The eliminations are not going their favor. Only a down so far, but Xysho's cleaning it up. Xysho gets 2. Precision goes down. Xysho getting that 3rd down. 2v2 going down, but they're forcing PK back inch by inch. They're taking over. Hndles gets a little bit too aggressive. This one could go down to a round number 11. Xysho trying to be the hero. He needs a team wipe all by himself. He gets it down on the 1, but Monkyz shuts it down. Round number 11. PK versus Vanquish.
Woo, they've come back. They really have. From round 5 now to round 11. PK has yet to slow down. They let one slip. That's all they let slip. Very well done. In our second round 11 in a row. The other one was between Hive and Rise, and now we see yet another one going down between VQ and PK. But do you think Precision, this is the round where he says enough is enough and he just goes full sin, maybe?
I think somebody's going to go full sin. I don't know who it is in this game right now. It's going to be Dezonide. Dezonide hopped up and hopped back down. They're going to get escorted out with the instance. Acells goes down. This is round number 11. One being used towards the back line. VQ cannot back up, but Xysho wants to go forward. He's trying to even up 3v3, but he can't pick up the elimination. Revive possibility is there. Sumuns gets out. Xysho, Dezo falls. Precision trying to be the hero. He goes down as well, though. 1v3. It's all up to Hndles. Game on the line. Only the map, though, and he falls. Monkyz will shut down PQ and take the map in round number 11 for PK.
Absolute pure excitement. Pittsburgh Knights takes it. I cannot believe VQ let that one slip through their fingertips, but Monkyz lets them know who took the L. And of course, it has to be that of VQ. Very well done. I cannot believe the turn of events, but hey, the series is tied up 1-1. PK's right back in it. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next is going to be Training Grounds Escalation. Welcome back, everybody, to the Gears Pro League Split 3 Phase 2 Day 1. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by Jacob MVPR. Jacob, I'm going to pass it over to you immediately. VQ takes an early lead, but PK fights back.
Like I said, when you want to go ahead and try to match somebody's aggression, you might not have all the strategy on your belt. You pick checkout, because how important that plat fight is, how quick and close quarters it is as well. You take out a lot of the strategy. It comes down to your reactions. It comes down to your instincts and how quick you can execute as a full team. And obviously, with an early lead going over to VQ, they let up off the gas just enough. I wouldn't say they got a content by any means, but just enough for PK not only to take one, but I do believe 4 consecutive rounds at one point or another, maybe even 3.
I think it was 3, and then they broke it up with 2 more after that, because VQ was at match point, I want to say, for a good while, and then it was like PK wins 2 or 3 rounds in a row. Incredible stuff, quite honestly. That was VQ's map to take. They had the lead, and they let it slip. They really did, right? They kind of choked that. So now PK, they've got to be feeling good, feeling confident. Comebacks like that don't happen magically. They don't happen by accident. They happen because you want to take the victory. You take the bull by the horns, and you make it happen. So TG Escalation coming up next, which is a great map for both teams. It quite honestly is, right? VQ is an incredible overlook fight team, especially on the second half, but they're a great Escalation team in general. But PK, this is kind of like their playing ground, if you will.
No, it definitely is. This is one of those maps that can really bounce them back into the series, even though it's only 1-1. When I say bounce them back in the series, it's just build their confidence, build their momentum, and show that, hey, we can do this. We might have been struggling lately, but just like us, where they're even wondering where things went wrong, where they started to falter, but they're thick in it. They're trying to fix it as they go along, and this is a great match to kind of make your adaptations on the fly, realizing what's going wrong and how to fix it. But one thing I said to you during the commercial break, it scares me a little bit going on to this next map on Escalation Training Grounds, is we've already seen Hive win around number 11 and then come out really flat on the next one due to it being wide open. Training Grounds, the strategy, going back to something that has a little bit more depth in it. So that's my only big worry on the side of PK, that it just, hopefully there's not a one map wonder here at today's series.
Well, it's true. I think it's a bit different, though, because Rise plays so differently on Escalation when they place the shock and the instant center line. I highly doubt VQ does that. But to be honest with you, though, I do have some concern right along with you, Jacob, because if they do place a power weapon in Overlook, or maybe they place it down low in Hell or something, honestly, VQ probably wins that team fight 3-1, you know? So PK can't really do a lot to kind of shift the tides if they start to lose control, because once VQ gets the ball rolling, it might be over with. But it depends. We'll see how it goes. Again, PK is a great Training Grounds Escalation team, and coming back like they did on checkout, it's got to make them feel good and confident.
See where it just gets interesting here for that moment. Towards the top half, you see the Lancer Fire coming over the top. Acells taking a brunt of that damage, even forcing a revive to come out, and that's allowing the overextension towards the bottom for PK, making their job just a little bit easier. And talk about easy, 2 big kills. Dezonide, Raver, and Sumuns, everybody working together like a complete unit, and they stretch it downtown as they get Hndles out and go for a triple cap domination.
There's a domination coming through. Xysho should get a touch. Dezo tries to go for the pop shot, not going to hit it, but no worries. He's got teammates to clean it up for him. Acells, last one up and gone. PK takes a pretty dominating round. So already you got to pose the question for VQ. They'll probably play the next round out, see how it works out. But if PK has another dominating round like they did in round 1, I expect VQ to play something down and change it up.
Trying to see anybody gonna take a page out of the Rise playbook. PK winning that first one. Honestly, don't think that neither one of these teams really use that strategy too much. They do a good job of at least staying alive, battling back when they need to, but when it comes to planning accordingly, I don't think that's something in their playbook, at least just yet. They got to have it up their sleeve, maybe in matchups against certain teams, and make sure to be aware of it if it's going to be used against them, but I don't think that's something they kind of look for.
There we go. Second battle going to take place. I expect Precision to be, well, actually can't. Monkyz, you can't discredit his spot because Monkyz is going for the cross and assisting his teammates up top, whereas Hndles isn't doing that. Hndles is going down and prioritizing getting on Bravo. So, which I mean, of course, you love to see that happen, but if in my opinion, Hndles needs to take a back seat. He needs to do what Monkyz is doing and try to get the cross, because you can't allow PK to win that Overlook fight as dominating as they are. Now Hndles is pushed back, so all that value he got on B is about to go to the wayside.
Trying to see right now, you can kind of see like exactly what you said. The hills being broken, everybody kind of being forced. Funnel, nobody's towards those side hills to get a break, so it's come down to getting that elimination onto Dezonide to alleviate some of that pressure. And if you look at the scoreline, they're lucky that it's rather close, but the teammates, once they spawn back up, they have their work cut out for them. Monkyz goes down. They're trying to make this neutral hill their new home hill, and they've done just enough to push these members of PK back. Only about a 25-point lead, but that's going to be chopped down once they get that second hill under their belt. But VQ doing the exact same thing, rotating around, not wanting to settle. I said VQ, but I mean PK. But two players get caught out, both Dezonide and Sumuns, their lives get costed. And that 2 hills of Vanquish, it's going to be even more threatening as they begin to push up.
You got to cut your losses. Sumuns was already down. Dezo had no right to go forward and try and get his brother back up. He just needed to cut the losses, let him go, because ultimately now Sumuns not only dies, but also Dezo does too. And you're fighting for control on Bravo, and obviously you're going to lose that whenever you're trying to make moves like that. So a bit of a misplay, in my opinion, and that's going to give VQ a bit of a lead. But does PK challenge onto Bravo? I think they're going to. You can see Dezo, Sumuns, and Monkyz. They're all going to be pushing over towards B. Monkyz does have that Boltock, something to keep a note of and keep in the back of your mind, right? And that's going to hit like an absolute brick house. And it looks like they're going to get B with ease. And Raver's going to come over for good measure, but 5. Precision sneaks through and gets over to Charlie.
Yeah, luckily there was a trade as Acells does go down. Vanquish overextending towards the top. Every hill is decapped for the side of the Pittsburgh Knights, but 2-1 as this one does get capped up from both of these teams. Raver getting caught out of position again. Goes down to Hndles, which kind of makes that retake a little bit easier for VQ as Monkyz goes down as well. They already have a little bit of a lead, and with this hill, it's going to look like a triple cap domination as Dezonide trying to extend, and another player's getting caught out in Sumuns as everybody goes down on the side of PK, and Vanquish tied up at 1 round apiece.
Well done, well done, well done from VQ. PK started off very strong. They win Overlook pretty convincingly. Now, I got a question. Does PK play something on Overlook like a power weapon? Honestly, that could be the X factor and what they need in order to secure a victory. But do they also want to run the risk of falling behind around with the shock? That is also a possibility and something they have to consider pretty heavily. So they're just going to match that retro on the opposite side. But again, I go back to Sumuns dropping and Dezo trying to go for that pickup on B. I believe if Dezo stays alive as long as he tries to, maybe that fight goes a little bit better. But sacrificing his life, trying to get Sumuns, for me, was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and VQ ultimately taking the win. But let's get into round 3, Jacob.
Yeah, I would like to see PK take those rise strategies, place the shock, the instant center line, because if you look at the team's history, they would be the ones to kind of play some center line in previous matchups. I don't know when they strayed away from it, but hopefully they can kind of rethink and refine themselves as trade goes down on that early initial. Raver fighting for his life, so is Dezonide, but everybody on the side of PK getting taken out, leaving Monkyz with all the pressure in the world, trying to buy some time, keep his team in the game, which is going to come through, but an overextension towards the top. As you can already see, Precision just waiting for these players to spawn up. As soon as he's marked them going ahead for that neutral, that's when he's going to create a break and spread their defense thin.
Monkyz has to hold his ground. It's a great shot in Acells and ultimately allows Sumuns to get the drop, but either way, Precision is there for the pickup. B still neutralized, but only for a short time. The 2 boys from VQ are going to be able to move in, and that's going to be Precision ultimately getting the cap. Meanwhile, Acells and Hndles are trying to rotate out and ultimately stop this push to this choke point. That's going to be Raver and Dezo applying the pressure, but Xysho creating the space and gets the reload in, and now is going to be able to get the final takes onto Dezo, who was marked. Raver marked as well. Dezo on his last down. So this positioning from them is going to be very difficult. In fact, Monkyz could be the savior, but unfortunately stopped at the 1 yard line. He can't get through that choke point, and meanwhile, Precision is also on the flank.
Yeah, it's not looking good. Precision taking those angles away. They already have 2 hills, so And they're just forcing PK into these bad spots, knowing we don't have to overextend ourselves. Don't have to bite off more than we can chew, but Acells goes down. Talk about a window of opportunity. Acells gets revenge by Hndles as he gets a double kill. A third one goes down. Precision as Monkyz is down. All 4 members down or dead on the side of PK. Vanquish move in. They get that triple cap domination. They go up 2-1 on Escalation training ground.
And VQ has finally woken up from their slumber. They're looking pretty solid here on Escalation training grounds, but they got to keep that going. I assume we're going to have our shocks built up on the right and left for both PK and VQ. And then from that point forward, who knows? But it is going to be the last round of the first half. And for PK, do they have a successful second half? Well, I guess a lot is going to be answered in this next round, because in the first 2 rounds, Jacob, PK dominated the Overlook fight. But in that last round, we see new life from VQ as they win the fight themselves. But we get Boltox down low. So I guess prioritizing firepower more so than a shock off the start.
And honestly, if Vanquish, the Pittsburgh Knights win this one, they can still put that shot grenade center line, still disrupt any plans of weapon placement that these teams have. But when it comes down to the initial strategy, be very, very similar, with both players kind of going up top. You see the Lancer from the top side of the map coming through from Monkyz. That's going to go ahead and halt that push coming through from VQ just for now. You see extension coming down towards the bottom as well. First down coming through, first elimination, make that 2. As Dezonide falls to his teammate, make that 3. As Sumuns is out of this one, Monkyz is going to have to battle back the entire army yet again. And since he's so far away from his home mill, he has to make the target the neutral, and it's just about buying enough time.
Oh, no.
He catches himself such a big
terrible
blunder, and it costs them the round.
Wow, yeah, that's a huge blunder from Monkyz, flashing himself. That flash, if it connects, there's really nothing I think Xysho can do at that point. He's going to get the touch. You just have to kind of battle it out and create that spacing enough, but that's a massive, massive blunder, and something that can't happen. Now VQ up 3-1. We're now in the second half. And that shock won't go center line ultimately, so it's going to be on either side. But again, I stay faithful. I think PK can have a successful second half, but the only problem now is you're not going to have Monkyz who's going to be getting your cross anymore. That's going to be the only problem in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it could still kind of play out like that, but you have to be very, very cognizant of it. If you're going for that cross over the top, where your opponent is positioning himself. But Sumuns is going to be that player playing down low in the 1v1 spot. Crossman is going to continue to be Hndles, but Hndles has that cross over the top side of the map. Dezonide gets separated from the rest of his team. Battle going in favor of VQ. A great amount of eliminations from Acells yet again. Getting the revive on Precision. I talk about that cross over the top, but that's where Hndles is pushing in. Going for that decap. If he gets this elimination, it could be a triple cap domination. The down onto 1, but that's going to be Monkyz prolonging this game, so it's not over just yet.
Not over just yet. Actually, it's far from being over with, even though Hndles has a good foothold. Raver battling against him on the opposite side. I highly suspect he's going to drop off shortly, but he does put up a great fight. Nearly takes down Raver, and he could have doubled back to take down Dezo. But either way, Hndles forced PK to come off the respawn and focus solely on taking him down. Therefore, VQ's comfortably with the 2-1 hill advantage. They can set up an overlook, and they can make this fight there. But here comes the breakout. Summon's going to be leading the charge through the choke point. Precision is going to be at the forefront. When does he push in? Well, overlook fight is also going to be underway. Meanwhile, you got Hndles once again going over to the spawn of PK, which is going to be absolutely critical now because PK is going towards Foxtrot.
Yep. Just spreading out the defense. Oh my God, Monkyz makes quick work of Hndles. Exactly what his team needs is they're going ahead and pressuring onto that hill. Triple cap domination. Sounding off in such a short moment. They're trying to attack both sides at once. Xysho only gets a down on the Dezonide. Hero coming through. Acells gets down. Now Precision gets denied. PK win the round. But they still trail 2-3. They still got some more work to do here as they win the first round and a half.
They do. They really do. But that was a great round from Pittsburgh Knights. A lot went wrong for them off the start, but once they made that one, concise push together, wolf packing through Overlook, going ultimately there and taking down Precision and one by one taking out the others. Hndles tried to keep the round alive, much like he did before, but ultimately losing that Overlook fight. PK knew they had the advantage, and they sunk their teeth into it, and they took it, and getting the domination. They're not going to waste an opportunity like that, and clearly VQ has to keep that in the back of their mind, but one round away from tying it up. The swing round has been won.
So where it's just going to get tougher and tougher for both of these teams once they give up a little bit of momentum. Once they give up an inch, each one of these rounds is going to be an all-out war, but Very, very similar strategies already being broken down. You got shot grenades on the side. You got retros over the top. There goes the early damage, though, from Sumuns to go ahead and give PK the advantage, but Dezonide goes down. Nobody able to clean that one up. Raver's doing all he can to keep the damage output intact, but unfortunate enough, they're able to brute force their way due to the chain revive, due to the close proximity of one another, as both of these players do go down. Hndles over the top yet again, being a huge thorn in the side while still overextending. He can do it all.
He's definitely doing it all. And like you said, you say it, Colin says it, Blaze says it. I mean, when Hndles pops off and is doing well, VQ collectively is going to do well. But let me remind you, Jacob, in the last round that we just witnessed, VQ had the same 2-to-1 hill advantage. Hndles did the same exact thing he did before. This time a little bit different because Acells with Hndles, so it's going to be 2 members over on D as opposed to the other side. But here goes Hndles by himself. But this time things are different. PK isn't getting through that choke point as easily.
So look, I love watching the minimap. Inch by inch. He's taking inch by inch. Monkyz doesn't know he's there. Okay, Monkyz barely saw him. That saved his life at the very end. And I saw the arrow. He was looking back. He was trying to make sure to watch his own back, but Hndles playing very, very Splinter Cell-like. Shades of Tom Clancy coming through. Gets the hill. Gets the elimination onto Monkyz. And it looks like they're going to go for another triple cap domination. Everybody is dead. And they are now on map point, one step away from taking map number 3 away from PK.
Looks like they're going to do it potentially, but they were here on checkout, right? They were 1 round away, ultimately to lose because PK never gave up. And you better believe they're not going to give up now. It's just so funny and interesting to kind of see that back and forth battle between Monkyz and Hndles, right? It's kind of been taking place consistently, not only in the first half for B, but this overextension from home hill to home hill. Monkyz obviously counting numbers very well. You can tell PK has good communication because Monkyz doesn't turn around there unless the numbers are being counted on the overlook fight. So clearly he's keeping his head on a swivel and his teammates are calling out, look, we don't know where Hndles at. You need to turn around and check because maybe he's going to be going for the overextension, which obviously he was. But either way, as things are scary for PK, just gotta win at least a couple more to take the victory. But does Hndles go downtown? Yes, he does.
Oh,
that's
no.
not that, but that wasn't. I don't know what. I saw that going wrong as soon as he was winding it up. I was like, that's not the play.
You saw his teammate just getting aggressive winning that fight.
Going for it. I'm like, where are you throwing it? You're gonna kill your teammate, and he does.
It just goes to show it's a little over aggressive, but it shows that Hndles just doesn't hesitate. You tell him to do something, he's going to do it. So you better be careful what you tell this man to do because he will waste no time. He knows the seconds are very, very valuable. And now you got to think they're telling him, stay alive, Hndles. Don't hesitate. Stay alive any way that you know how. All players are back up to Vanquish, but 2-1. Pittsburgh Knights, they got an early lead, but how long can they hold on?
Well, let's see how long they can, in fact, hold on. VQ's known for their retake power, but I love the setup. Obviously, default for PK. You got Dezo who's going to be able to lance her out. You also have player 4 who's going to be up top who's going to be able to lance her out. He needs to focus on this choke point, but unfortunately, Monkyz turns around to call out the overextension. Wasn't enough, though, for VQ to break in. Well, it seems as if that's going to be the case, and Monkyz, who was focused on the overextension from player 3 to make sure he was covered, unfortunately doesn't lay down the lancer fire when VQ goes to the choke point, and ultimately, this could be their undoing.
Definitely could. Everybody's just going and falling left and right. The shotgun, the CQC is intact for VQ, and that one is what's winning them that initial fight. How close they were together when they tried to push their way up top. They backtracked all the way around, and they stayed close together to get those instant revives instead of going trade for trade, blow for blow. So even though they trail about 40 points, 50 points here, they have the 2 hills and they have the positioning. They're getting all the information due to that overlook, crossing these players out, getting yet another elimination, which is going to stagger this push to come through. PK have about a 30-second lead. They're going to use all that 30 seconds to try to come back from this. Behind enemy lines.
Yeah, behind enemy lines again, whether it's Hndles, whether it's Acells, right? I mean, they're slippery. They're always just kind of hanging out, doing their thing. Deza, where are you going to go from here, though? Now you're kind of pinned up. VQ wins in just about 30 or so seconds, so Hndles going to pick up those fresh instants. Raver's going to try and get the break onto B. He does have help. This could change the tides. PK could have the win condition. Well, they will have the win condition, and that is a big elimination, but you just got to capture E. They're taking their time. Finally, it's coming through. And I think PK might have just won themselves the round potentially. VQ's going to have to get desperate, but they don't have the manpower. PK probably takes this round.
Yeah, especially with that down on the Hndles, cleaning up that elimination onto Acells. No matter what happens, right? Yeah, I got to agree with you. It's kind of all over. 2 hills to 1, less than 10 seconds for that win condition. If you look at the minimap, nobody is in position to get the break onto this hill. So I don't want to curse him. I don't want to say it, but I feel like I have to be in the caster calling the action. This is looking like deja vu for map number 2. A massive lead for VQ, but a comeback from Pittsburgh Knights. They take that execution in a round number 11. On map point, VQ yet again, but coming back is PK. Step by step, they're inching themselves into contention.
They really are. They really are. PK, they take this map. VQ on Regency, they're a great team, but if there's any map that VQ struggles on control-wise, I would say it would be Regency. That's most likely their weakest map, at least from what I observed and noticed in phase 1 of Split 3. But that could, be PK's opportunity. If they could win this map, there is a chance, a slight chance, despite that district matchup. I don't care about that one. Normally, sometimes those maps are very one-sided. It's kind of like when Training Grounds was very one-sided, but Regency is where PK could quite honestly beat VQ if they could just win this map. But 1 round away, shocks are going to be disabled. So this round is incredibly important for VQ naturally to close this out. But if you allow PK to send it to a round 9 and come back much like they did on checkout, you better believe PK isn't going to waste that opportunity.
4-3 though. I was about to see how are they going to attack this one. They get that early down, and you got to think elimination onto Xysho. If he can stay alive here, any revive coming through, he goes out. Now they're going to use their numbers here, getting a little too close for comfort, but Dezonide comes out on top, using their numbers to their advantage. But 2 hills, it's Hndles again, not only keeping them in this one, but getting them a lead while everybody got eliminated. And that's where you're going to see the overextension come through. Players are spawning up. They're trying to help Hndles, and they are the champions. They are the pros, but I would think you got to attack that neutral hill while Hndles is buying you time.
The Hndles is definitely buying time. Xysho's going to be there, and I agree. You got to attack the neutral. This is a lot of opportunity wasted. Dezo's going to be at the forefront. He'll get the knock onto Acells backing up. And there's an opportunity. Maybe he'll be able to clutch up in that moment. Granted, he'll go in and concede the neutral. Xysho will fall. Now it's up to Precision and Acells. Honestly, you got to attack Dezo here because you already know the cavalry's coming, and it's going to bring it down to a 2v2 if you take him out. And now it is a 2v2, so it's more manageable than a 3v2, which it would have been naturally. But now Sumuns makes things interesting by taking down 2, and E goes back into the hands of PK. A good recovery.
Yeah, and it all comes down to that early start with Hndles. The entire team on that initial got wiped out. He not only held his own over on the other side of the map, he got some reinforcements and got themselves a pretty big lead here. That's going to allow them to kind of gear up as 3, but he's going to hold on to his positioning in heaven to get that Lancer over the top as the push is going to come through. Step number 1, smoke him out. Damage already there onto Raver, and no one even pushed up just yet. Raver has his work cut out for him, trying to stay alive, trying to be the hero, but a double down coming through. Both teams rushing to the scene of the crime, trying to get the cleanup to come through, but it's PK. They get the eliminations. Someone's trying to stay alive towards the low side as well. He gets taken out, but it comes at a cost. Precision goes down. Both hills in favor of PK, going for a triple cap domination. Gets the decap as step number 1. Dezonide gets the elimination on the Hndles. It's about staying alive. It's about shutting this one down. PK about to force yet another tiebreaker map, but in the thick of it, VQ answer back with the game on the line.
They answer back indeed, but not a lot of time to work with them. Monkyz is allowing VQ to literally run past him. That's going to be 1. Can he get 2? You have to think he can. And no, he can't. And E is going to be broken. The 2-1 is going to be enough to swing the win condition back over towards VQ. And PK might have just lost.
Not looking good. I think you said it correct. PK might have just thrown this one away.
No,
but Sumuns,
they're back in it.
Sumuns gets 2. Sumuns gets 3. He gets all 3 of those eliminations. They get the 2 hills under their belt. It's just too quick. Not enough time left on the clock. Not enough players alive for VQ. They get the round number 9. Back-to-back tie-breaking rounds for us in 2 different game modes. PK can do it.
I'm blown away. Yeah, PK can absolutely do this. The curse of me voting for VQ. I really hope that the curse isn't real. That was someone, someone made a joke like every time you go for VQ, they lose, and every time you vote against them, they win. And in this moment, PK is making some magic happen. My goodness. 2 successful rounds in a row. And as we have the ensigns and the shocks already down, disables out of the way, Raver looks to make things interesting by placing something in Overlook. That's going to be the frags, okay. And then up top, I'm sure we'll get a long shot or something of the sort, unless VQ wants to go ahead and have out those frags. And I guess it's no. Dang. So maybe a long shot up top. No, it's going to be an M-bar. Okay, so something to fight for. It's going to be a crazy round. It really is. Now the question is, VQ, are they rattled from the comeback from PK? That's the big question.
And say they were rattled in that game number 2, but they definitely lost that tiebreaker round, and they put the M-bar up there because they want to keep the focus towards the top half. That's where they've been favoring a lot of these initial fights, but Xysho goes into that M-bar. They're basically giving up that frag grenades over towards, it's actually the frag grenades he gets. They give up the M-bar. First blood going out over to Sumuns. I don't know if he used frags to go ahead and get that elimination, so you got to think he has a couple of those waiting to be used. He has one more in his pocket, gets 1 elimination, only gets 1 though with 2. Dezonide gets the tag onto 1, but 2v1 situation on both of these kills, by both of these fights. Raver doing what he can, unable to pick up an elimination just yet, but gets 2 down, buying time for his team. That is the name of the game for Raver.
Enemy mark!
Potentials here, they can do this. They really can. What are they going to go for? The overextension? You can tell on the minimap PK is setting up 3 strong, maybe even 4 strong for the OE. This a lot being committed from this point. Dezo also has the ensigns, Acells trying to hold his ground. VQ's going to rotate over, but they're going to be outmatched, so this could very well benefit that of Pittsburgh Knights. And Monkyz will also get the ensigns of VQ. That's a big loss. He's going to throw him out there, yeet him out, and ultimately the hill is going to be broken. PK gets the home hill to home hill. That is a big blunder from VQ.
Hndles does have that shock grenade though, very, very close proximity to this fight, so it's just about pinpointing the perfect place to throw it. And you almost want to go ahead and force Dezonide in this position. You stack 2 players over and deny his exit opportunity from coming through. That shock grenade over the top. I don't know how short, how good that one actually was, as Hndles going ahead and creating distraction towards the backside. Xysho there to get some Lancer damage. Sumuns goes down first. PK trying to be heroes. Dezonide falls as well. All 3 players dead as Monkyz goes bye-bye, and they get 2 hills once more under their control. Only 20 seconds. It's really separating these 2 teams this late into the game. That puts Vanquish into the driver's seat. And you can already tell by the fact that they're not playing over aggressive. They're not continuing to push through towards the side of the map of PK. They want to win this one off points. They want to win this defending off PK's last attempt.
But the only reason why PK has won the last 2 rounds is because of this heroic push that they have done successfully 2 times in a row. Vanquish always finds a way to let this E-fight slip out from their fingertips. If they can shut this down 1 time, VQ will take the victory. But if PK successfully takes E like they have done in the previous 2 rounds, it's going to be over with. Plus, you got the 1v on the other side, but Acells wins that, but it's not going to be enough. VQ has to hold their ground onto E, but it looks like PK is starting to get the break, and PK will in fact be there onto E, but is it going to be in time? I don't know. VQ's going to be at the 2:30 mark. D is going to be decapped, though. Player 7, Acells looking to be the hero, and the 2-0 back in the hands of VQ. And I don't know if it's over with just yet, but it's close. Player 1's going to have to pull off some heroics, but he's shut down. And Jacob, the comeback will be going to be the boys of VQ closing it out, taking a 2-1 lead. 5-4 victory, Escalation Training Grounds.
Yep, you got to take what you can get, though. If you're a fan of PK, this is definitely a little bit of a different team that we see close out the mid-split playoff, close out that last season. I feel like they're beginning to find themselves. It may not have been the map number 1 that we wanted, but winning map number 2 and keeping this one respectable is definitely what you want to see from a PK that has been struggling.
No, I absolutely agree. This is a great look for Pittsburgh Knights. Even if they take the L at this point, they are looking incredible. And now, like I said before, though, the narrative stays the same. For VQ, they do have the 2-1 lead, but Regency control is not going to be a guarantee by any means, Jacob. If there's any map that I have to say that they struggle on when it comes to control, it's Regency. And I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because they can't Wolfpack as strong. It's a little bit more defaulted. There's a lot of spacing, right, whenever you're going to pursue a hill. Maybe that's what hurts them, Jacob, but they're not bad on it, but they're just not the best.
Yeah, and I think right now that's going to be an opportunity for PK to kind of expose, like what you said. There's so many wide open passageways, whether you're going for the corner hills, whether you're going for the neutrals. There's so many opportunity for that pre-damage to be there to make it to where you're one-shottable, one-shot chunk, one-shot down, or maybe don't even make it that far or get down beforehand. But it's going to be up to really VQ kind of, I don't want to say answer back because they did win that one, but you had a massive lead, not once but twice. Once was thrown away, second one was almost. So you got to figure out what is going wrong and fix it sooner rather than later, because you continue to allow PK to heat up. They're definitely going to take inch by inch if you give it to them.
Oh, 100%. You know, PK, again, despite their struggles, it doesn't mean that they're a bad team by any means. They can still win bang with the best of them, which is being made apparent here, going against the MSP champions themselves, looking pretty good. But they do find themselves down one map in general. They do have to answer back to force an execution on Clocktower, which would be a great map, quite honestly. We've seen PK take some big victories in the past. Remember, PK beating E United in Pro League for phase 1, excuse me. Clocktower was that final map, and Monkyz was the hero, if I'm not mistaken. Picked up like 13 eliminations, was the deciding factor and the real factor as to why PK takes that victory. So there's a good chance that if we go to map 5, PK, who knows, could in fact clutch up and take the series. But again, Regency control, as I said, VQ, they've showed that they can struggle on that map. But I guess the question is really, because I know what to expect from VQ, I don't know what to expect from PK on Regency. That's where, you know, things are kind of up in the air and in the dark for me.
Yeah, especially if you kind of look at map number 1, to where they were kind of getting caught out of position. They were getting caught as individuals, forced to make desperate plays that just simply were not working out for them. And I think Control is one of those game modes to where if you're a team that continues able to kind of stagger out the deaths, always lead them in a 4v3, whether you're leaving the player down or brute forcing your way through a hill, you will continuously have the upper hand. Once you get those 2 eliminations and allow them to breathe, allow them to spawn back up and get that opportunity, you're basically asking for them to figure out a way to break through your defenses. So I think that's one of the reasons why Vanquish, teams like Rise, that they excel so much on Control, is because they're aggressive. They don't let up off the gas, and they continue to use the man advantage in their favor. Even if it's not for a hill, it's to get a kill and keep a 4v3 intact, a 4v2 intact. That makes getting those hills and makes getting the spawn points, it makes getting the weapons that much easier.
Yeah, without question. And one of the things, too, M-Bar, big power weapon to play for whenever it comes to Regency. And Dezo is an incredible M-Bar player who can quite honestly connect anytime. I mean, we've seen how deadly he was, right, whenever it was the sniper just earlier on that checkout execution. So he could be an X factor as well to catch off some heads or pick off some heads for the boys of VQ. So either way, the one positive thing to take away from District, even though PK does take the L on that map, is the fact that they were rotating early and defensively setting up. District plays much differently than that of Regency. And I do believe a team that rotates early and sets up defensively on Regency, that's going to be more powerful than that of a map like District. I have no idea how Spire is going to play. We haven't seen it just yet, but except from E-Days in the past. But PK's ability to rotate early, Jacob, for me, is going to hurt VQ. So that's one of the things that they need to correct, because it worked on District, it won't work on Regency.
And just to me, I just need to make sure, especially with how aggressive their playstyle is, I want to see PQ utilize that push, taking over the spawn points first if the situation doesn't line, because obviously if you're kind of geared up, the hill switches and you have 3 players towards the hillside, you want to still continue to attack. You don't want to waste time. But if you kind of get wiped and you're kind of maneuvering around the map, setting up your players, I want to see them attack the spawn point. If they take that spawn point and then they solidify it, they can attack that hill. And if they go ahead and die, they misjudge it, whatever it may be, they're just going to spawn right back down low. That's just to be maybe 5 to 7 seconds before they're back up as 4 and attacking yet again. I want to see a lot of teams begin to utilize that, especially the ones that favor this heavy aggression like these 2 in front of us.
Yeah, and I think both teams do favor heavy aggression indeed, but who is going to end up on top? I don't know. Monkyz hasn't been playing too well. He's been making a lot of silly mistakes, and Monkyz is kind of the guy that you expect to be the dominant force for the team of PK, or at least he was for so incredibly long. Granted, it's not all up to Monkyz. It's a team effort, but let's go back to whenever he was challenging on B, right? Trying to keep the game alive. He misthrows his stun, right? One mistake, it is what it is. But there was another time where VQ was going to break through the choke point in Escalation training grounds, and he was focused on the guy going for the overextension instead of focused on the 3 guys pushing to go for the break. He's making silly mistakes, and it's unlike Monkyz, right? It's Monkyz normally
Really
is absolutely focused and lasered in.
Yeah, he's usually the kind of the backbone of the Pittsburgh Knights, but it goes to show once these game modes introduce the changes, you bring in 4v4, it just allowed, like you said, some teams, some players to kind of rise to the top, but then some players, some teams that might be suffering just a little bit. I don't want to say PK is suffering a massive amount. As you can see, they're still taking our championship team to the wire, game number 11, rounds number 9, so they're still there. The potential is there, but I still think they're still scrambling to find themselves, which is kind of very dangerous this far into the season. But I'll digress, because when push comes to shove, they're still in it to win it. They're not one of those teams that are faltering, risking relegation towards the bottom half, and they're going ahead and preparing for these major events, and they have one more major left, a few short weeks away. Everything that they worked on all season long is going to boil down to that. So I'm going to hope that even though they might lose some rounds, might lose some maps, heck, they might even lose some series, it's for the greater good of learning for the betterment of the team.
100%. And side station, I don't know if it's started just yet, but just to keep you updated with the Challenger Series, Smeeze is playing against Majesty. Smeeze is Emissives, Clutch, Zeontre, and Abusive. So a great roster in general. Not too familiar with Abusive, but it'd be fun to kind of watch and see what he can do. I think I did catch a glimpse of him, if I'm not mistaken, during Challenger, maybe even relegation, but don't quote me on that. Majesty is going to be Veets, Purse, Marshall, and Feint. So Marshall and Feint, very familiar with them, but, well, excuse me, Veets too, but Purse, I've never really seen Purse before. I don't know if you've heard the name.
Nope.
Well, so there you go.
Yet.
Challenger's
not
great
just
though.
Yet. Hey, but we've seen so many Challenger teams. 2 just qualified for this Pro League. A lot of these players were gifted a chance. To me, Challenger team, that's the breeding grounds for future champions. Can't give up. I always tell people there's so much to play for just because you're not in the Pro League.
All right, here we go. Map number 4 between VQ and PK. Looks like PK is going to prioritize this hill, but Precision doesn't even care. Single-handedly taking down a couple of members from Pittsburgh Knights. Xysho and Hndles going to be off the respawn, but Monkyz ultimately is going to secure the hill, the shock, and Raver is going to have the M-bar and the nades. So well done from him. He's literally a walking army. I'm sure he's going to pass over the M-bar potentially to Dezo, or who knows, maybe keep his hands on it. Yeah, I guess not enough time, right? Dezo is forced to go into the hill. Raver's going to stick back and kind of utilize his position, at least to the best of his possibilities.
Yep, Hndles continue that sneaky play from training grounds, trying to flip the map on back, because I think Pittsburgh Knights, they get to do a good job of flipping it once. As you can see, they have that right side of the map, but it's yet again Hndles going towards the top half of the map with 24 seconds left on this hill. Precision Acells both fall, and he needs to go ahead and stretch forward. Continue to anchor yourself in towards that spawn. He steals it away. Look at all 3 members there getting that crucial spawn point on the side of Vanquish, and that's because one too many players stepped forward on the side of PK and gave it up.
I believe Smeeze is up 2-1 in that series, by the way, just so you guys can keep updated. So Smeeze might be well on the way to winning the first week of the Challenger Series against Smeeze, Emissives, Clutch, Zeontre, and Abusive. We'll see if Majesty can fight back. Raver, good challenge onto Precision. PK doing a lot right, not only in the first hill, but the second as well. Prioritizing spawn control, but ultimately, do they get shut down? You got a couple of members from VQ currently in the hill. They're going to be outmatched. Raver's going to have that M-bar breathing down Xysho's neck, and ultimately looks like PK did, in fact, do everything right. They're going to take over this hill and take a good lead.
That's where you get that early lead. You talked about the M-bar, the decision making. I don't know how many bullets he still has left in that one, but still has it on his backside. That goes to show how much damage, how well Raver is playing to stay alive and be a huge thorn in the side of PK. But Precision backtracking to get that shock grenade. 46 seconds left on the clock. That is a ton of time, and you got to think they're going to get that M-bar towards the top half as well. And this is where I got to ask you, if you wasted this much time to get the M-bar, the shock, possibly frags as well, are you continuing to push forward for 30 seconds, or do you set up for next in hopes of getting as much of that 75 seconds as you can?
Honestly, it depends if Acells gets a pick or not, and he's not getting a pick. So if I'm VQ, I'm rotating off. I mean, it's over with. If Acells gets a pick, maybe you do push in, right? But ultimately, he doesn't. He's going to stay 10 toes down, though, and see if anybody from PK is going to rotate into him. Meanwhile, though, things could look up and shape up for the boys of VQ as they do rotate off. PK is going to leave that hill. Acells, once again, continues to look down at Sumuns. Body shots in, pulls out the Nasher. He's gone. Great connection. At this point, you got to prioritize down low. You know, PK is going to be spawning low, and this is an opportunity to use that M-bar, catch the off angles. Acells is going to go ahead and stay here and prioritize at least this lane. He knows spawns are going to be very important for VQ if they get pushed off the hill. So this is going to be the opportunity for VQ to close the gap.
Everybody needs to be marking players, communicating where this information is at, where that push is going to gear up from, because you already see Pittsburgh Knights, 3 players down low, 1 player hiding in towards the middle. That is going to be Monkyz playing that solo spot by himself. As Acells trying to get that angle, and you see the birds getting ready to disperse. They know this attack is coming down. Smoke splashes being tossed around the hill. Even frag grenade joining the play, but nobody from PK able to push up even an inch. And that shows to show right now they're wasting all that utility to try to go ahead and defend, buy some time on the side of VQ, as there's at least 3 more grenades, both a flash, a shock, and a smoke on the side of PK. But Xysho has thoughts of his own as he fishes out a frag, gets a double kill. They're going to get that 3rd kill here in just a moment to continue to stagger out the deaths. That's exactly what PK needs to do in order to maintain the lead as Pittsburgh Knights all fall.
PK all fall, like you said. The rotation's in. They're giving up that scrap time. No worries. Monkyz also wants that fresh M-bar if it comes into play. Acells, though, is ready to get the pick, but only 1 charge remains. And if he can connect here, that would be a massive elimination. Monkyz goes for the pick. He times it perfectly, and Acells gets the head.
A few seconds off from charging that M-bar could mean the difference between maybe just tagging him up, staying alive, getting out with that M-bar. Raver doing what he can, goes for a little bit of a kick, cost him his life. He gets taken out, and you got to think Acells looking for that M-bar. I think he did pick up that new M-bar that he got from Monkyz. Xysho has those frags, though. They go out of play. Nobody's going to get control of those, and there goes another headshot from Acells. And this is something that they need to begin to heat up. 24 seconds differential between the Pittsburgh Knights and Vanquish. But on this hill, it does look like Vanquish are getting full control, funneling those players down and using height advantage. But Dezonide breaks through, taking out Hndles and using that momentum to peer through the side.
And just to go back to Acells and what he did, perfect timing to get the headshot onto Monkyz. M-bar's down. It doesn't even get backpacked. In fact, Monkyz doesn't even fully pick it up, if I'm not mistaken. And that was just great timing and honestly very unique opportunity that he presented itself, and he took it. We haven't seen that yet, at least in my opinion, but that was just a great bait. But it's getting bloody in here, and PK will be the victors, and 4 members down for VQ. Acells will lose his M-bar, and PK will start to gather more of a lead. That was just a huge battle that honestly anybody could have won, but PK obviously the victors.
I mean, you warned us all. You said it yourself. This is one of those maps that Vanquish does struggle on. Doesn't matter if it is a control where you can be aggressive the entirety of the way through. Those long hallways don't favor them, and with a little bit of a lead, Pittsburgh Knights all fall, which kind of gives up that opportunity for Vanquish to steal it away. Just about 20 points, creating that separation. They're trying to angle out and control one side of the map as they go ahead and leave the hill. No, it's going to be in that bottom right-hand corner where you see most of the members of PK set up. They don't have that spawn point exactly, but them being deep into the actual spawn is going to make it harder for Vanquish to really utilize that direction of the map.
All right, things are going to be quiet for the time being. PK set up quite nicely, though. And like you said, it's going to be very difficult for VQ to push in, but Acells picks up the M-bar. Again, we've seen what he can do with it. Let's look at the utility. Sumuns will have the shock, so that's going to be great, specifically on this hill for stopping a push through at least 1 designated choke point. So I'm looking at Acells to kind of be the guy to open up a door here, but I like the fact that Sumuns and Raver are where they're at, Jacob, because you don't normally see, especially on this hill, players take that backside. But again, Acells is going to be the X factor, and getting that down alone is going to get the confidence for Precision to push in. Hndles going to pick up a 2-piece, and it looks like VQ is going to be successful.
But where was Sumuns and that shock grenade? Why didn't they just put the resources into that fight? They put him deep into the spawn where the shock grenade wasn't going to mean anything, where he had to put himself in a bad spot like you see just to make it utilized. And not only did he waste that shock, he gets taken out, give up both the spawn point and the hill at the same time. Raver fighting for his life. He goes down. So many deaths being staggered right now on the side of PK. Monkyz getting taken out as well. 3 players dead. Dezonide by himself in the hill. A few short seconds, he will fall, and the deaths will continue to get staggered. And because, like I said a few seconds ago, they have the spawn point towards the top, so Pittsburgh Knight forced all the way outward. The silver lining is only less than 20 seconds on this hill before everyone is forced to rotate, and because of those early deaths, they're going to be gifted that first point of spawn.
All right, first point of spawn. Is it going to be the X factor? Is it going to be everything? We'll find out. VQ's been doing a good job at breaking Acells. One more shot, but this time can't pop it off. Dezo keep giving a check with the Lancer, but Monkyz, he's going to be isolated, but is it going to matter? I don't know. VQ trying desperately to break in, but PK doing a great job fighting back, but ultimately it seems they're going to get it, but reached over to cover. Xysho will lose his life, and Unfortunate for Xysho, the bit of a misinput will result in him dying off, and PK is very happy for that.
Yep, I would say, like I said, the silver lining for PK. This one for VQ is they're going to get that weapon towards the top, possibly a shot grenade as well. And we know how deadly this man with the end bar can be, but Xysho gets taken out. Dezonide and Monkyz doing a good job of pushing forward, staying offensive, and continuing to stagger out the deaths. And it's so far away from the hill that there's very little threat of actually being pushed through, barring any miracles coming out from Acells as Monkyz continues his domination. Him and Dezonide doing a great job. Their chemistry is intact. Acells missing a few shots there. Not typical from what we normally see, and he misses yet another one. Xysho goes back. There goes the connection finally coming through, but the numbers are there for PK. Dezonide, a quick double kill, denying Vanquish any opportunity of any hill being overturned, as there's only 25 seconds left on this hill. They know this is time to rotate. This is time to get positioned in their first hill, as now the hills are going to cycle back to the start.
Cycling back to the start, as you said, and with the scoreline being as close as it is, it's quite honestly anybody's game. PK obviously with the lead, but man, VQ pushes in, but Monkyz, oh, does he? He does get it off against the two-piece, and Hndles is down too, and Monkyz with the quick wits and the quick thinking will be the hero for his squad, and Dezo will get the final cleanup. And what a play for Monkyz. We were being critical of him before, but that play saved Dezo and saved PK to get these points.
Yep, puts him in the driver's seat for this next hill as well. But if you look at where the Vanquish spawned at, they have the good side for the next hill, but 75 seconds left on this one. They have to be very, very cognizant of this next hill rotation and keep in control of that side of the map. Monkyz goes down first. They're going to begin to push in, try to figure out these eliminations. Dezo taking a ton of damage. Someone's already downed out once. He gets finally taken out. He falls as well on the side of Dezo. Raver falls. Triple kill for precision. They get 50 seconds left up for grabs, and you can already see Xysho spreading himself towards the right side of the map. I talked about maintaining control is so important because neither team can win off of this hill.
Right. This hill is going to be very important, obviously, for VQ Jacob, clearly, to retake this lead. But for PK, I don't know. They played this hill last time so very well. Big elimination, though, onto Raver. That should open up the right lane. Does Xysho take it? I guess not just yet. You got to deal with Monkyz, though. They have no idea he's going to be there. Monkyz been doing a great job playing like a, kind of that sneaky role, but unfortunately this time he's forced to back all the way up, and the pressure's not going to end there. Even despite him getting back onto his feet, Hndles will pick up those nades. Monkyz desperation attempt to pick up anybody from VQ, but the M-bar is gone, and a successful push from VQ. Granted, though, they commit all that to take him down and get rid of the M-bar, but now they lose spawn control, so you still got to get these two members from PK out, but with the Wolfpack, they take them all out.
I love it. They immediately knew the situation that they're in. Holding the spawn points, getting those players out. You can't be a thorn in the side. You can't be a distraction. And they wasted no time. All four players working in unison to take control of that spawn point. And they have up top to down low. So PK need to figure out a second here. You can't go a little too early. You can't play individual or two different duo teams. You need to make sure this push is intact as a full squad. It's going to be a split push coming through from the middle, from bottom at the same time. They're trying to spread the defense thin from VQ, but that was Dezonide taking a ton of damage. He even goes down, forcing Pittsburgh Knights to go ahead and sacrifice themselves for him. Raver goes down as well. Everything is just falling apart. They played as two different duos, and it cost them as Vanquish playing as a full cohesive unit.
All right, they've got the lead back. Once again, PK is going to have to fight extra hard. But granted, with the way this map has been going, Jacob, I assume PK is going to successfully fight back. But this is the time in the map where you do not want to fall back and fall behind. And, well, VQ is taking a tremendous lead at this point. They're going to be around the 250 or plus mark. And obviously, PK is going to be sweating because they've got to clear 101 points, where VQ, they only have to get 49. So at this point, you have to favor VQ in this moment. And they're also set up for the new hill, plus M-bar and Acells will get his hands onto it. And that is the player PK doesn't want to have the M-bar.
Yeah, I think it comes on the back of the late game power weapon control for VQ. Big shot being landed by Acells, but a flank from Monkyz that puts a stoppage to that M-bar being in play, and that was kind of the silver lining for VQ as they looking to close this one out. Misses coming through from precision, uncharacteristic like, but Dezonide takes full advantage. Xysho has the frag grenades, and I talk about playing as individuals versus as a team. They're trying to use that first one to get Raver out of position. He goes down, quick revive coming through, unable to use those frag grenades, but Xysho goes down right here. If they take out Xysho, this could be huge into the success line of PK. Acells is going to go down, but he did that to save Xysho. A frag grenade late into this one could still come through. Xysho cleaning up that elimination onto Dezonide. They get another one onto Sumuns. 40 seconds left, and they will take it with 46 seconds left on that hill.
Things are getting scary for Pittsburgh Knights at this point. This could very well be the series, and PK could lose 3-1, but they've got to play perfectly. They really do still. The opportunity is there, and we've seen PK make some major plays. You can see Monkyz literally walking, trying to be that sneaky player he has been consistently throughout Regency, but this time, no luck. He's going to be sniffed out and taken down. 20 points still remain on this total hill. Hndles moving in. Will he be able to get the elimination? Maybe. No, he cannot, and PK will successfully break the hill. And that's important, Jacob, because now VQ is still 20 points away. PK will make it a little bit more manageable, being around the 230-240 mark. And also the fact that VQ could have won off that hill. So PK was critical to get that break. Now we're coming down to the final hill.
Yeah, it's important, but not enough. Not even close to being enough. They have only 20 seconds left. Multiple opportunities on this hill to go ahead and take the game. Dezonide falls early. Monkyz is caught out yet again. He's playing as an individual right now, and sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. And this is one of those situations playing as an individual is working out. He gets that elimination onto Hndles. Dezonide spawning behind him. They have these players pincered. They have them trapped. Crosses from both sides. Xysho trying to return fire with the M-bar. The angles are there. It's just becoming too much. He falls. Acells gets taken out. Xysho's able to get one elimination before he gets taken out, but Hndles goes in as an individual. They have such a big lead on the side of Vanquish, and you find that with the fact that the Pittsburgh Knights cannot win off of this hill. You need to take it slow. You need to find a way to relax. Only 9 seconds left, and you have frags. This is the hill to win it off of. You just need to pick and choose your fight.
If VQ continues to push as individuals, PK is going to win this map. Bottom line, period. PK is within striking distance now of coming out ahead and obviously as the victors, but player rate will fall. Monkyz is gone. He was trying to play that off angle. Acells by himself being pushed by Sumuns. Sumuns will take that kill. That is going to be huge, but VQ finds an opportunity. Sumuns hops out, and now just within 5 points, Sumuns going to be in under contest, but VQ 4 points away, Jacob.
Hndles puts himself in bad position, trying to solidify this game. 4 seconds, like you said. The pressure's being felt, but not only by Vanquish. They're feeling that pressure to end this game right here, right now. But everyone has to rotate off this hill. PK's trying to get as close as they possibly can and still maintain positioning on this hill. 4 seconds left. They can sneak by. We've seen it happen once. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it again, but they're trying to stagger out these deaths. One elimination coming through. Make that number 2 as Hndles falls. 19 seconds left. Vanquish, they cannot afford to wait for the respawn players to come through. There's not a lot of time left on the clock. All 4 players coming from the same direction as well. Only 1 shock grenade, a couple of flashes, and a couple of opportunities here. 5 seconds left. The countdown is in. This is going to be a new year, but I don't know who it's going to come in favor of. IQ is going down. Everybody's dead. That's a team like Pittsburgh Knights have forced a game number 5.
I am blown away. PK, you can't say they ever give up because they never do. What a victory for them, and that means VQ, it was imperative that they won that round 9 Escalation training grounds, or else PK would have just won the series 3-1, but they don't. We're going to a game 5, ladies and gentlemen. Things are starting to heat up, and PK shows new life. We'll be right back with game 5 after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into game 5 between PK and VQ. The start of this series, man, I'm not going to lie, I thought VQ was going to take this quickly, but PK fighting back and showing why they should be considered a serious threat, much unlike, right, their performances in MSP or even in the last and final stages of Pro League in Phase 1. Now they're looking like the dominant team we expect them to be, Jacob.
No, they definitely are. This is something I didn't expect to see. You can even go ahead and rewind it. I thought this might have been a 3-1, possibly a 3-0, especially how those early match went. Map number 1 to be exact, but That's something that you cannot count out when it comes to any of these Latin American teams, particularly this PK1 right in front of us, is the passion, the never say die attitude that they always possess. And even though this wasn't something I expected, this is something I am just loving to see today as we bring in this split number 3 debut between our championship Vanquish and a team fighting to reclaim the top of the throne, not only for Gears Esports, but for the Latin American region as a whole.
And I'll be completely clear with you, the cherry on top will be PK winning this series, but already they have shown that they are a serious threat to any team that has to play against them. Let's not forget, they are literally going against the best team currently in the Pro League, and they are standing toe-to-toe with them, and it has been an incredible series. You get rid of that district control, whatever, doesn't matter, get it out of the way, Jacob. But when it be whether it be checkout or whether it be Regency or even training grounds, right? PK showed that they can bang with the best of them, and they're looking really good. VQ, they wanted that win badly on Regency, but they wanted it too badly, right? They should have took their time. Those individual pushes did them in, Jacob. Like they did, well, you said 4 times? Like it's ridiculous. That should have never happened. 4 seconds.
Needed 4 seconds. There was 18 at one point where they were going ahead and try to set up for that push on the hill. I'm thinking, cool, that's great. You got the separation. The player's going to be rotating in for PK just a little bit late, but they bit off more than they can chew. They had 2 players go ahead of the rest of the group on the side of Vanquish, and they didn't use their full team aspect. There was about 19 seconds, maybe even 20 on that last hill. They had more than enough time to wait for their teammates, and that's why I'm always saying sometimes you sacrifice 5, maybe 10 seconds off of that clock so your teammates can get into position. You make that full push as a team, you probably come out on top, and it's you dancing in the hill for 4 seconds, closing out the series. But in the end, this is a game number 5. It doesn't matter what happened the 4 previous maps, the last 2 hours, because it boils down to this. Game number 5 on, was this Canals, I do believe?
No, it's going to be Clocktower. He said, Canals too? Clocktower. Hey, you know, but that's what I was talking about.
This is anybody's game. I think Clocktower is the perfect game number 5 to end any series.
Oh,
any
100%.
Series.
100%. Well, and specifically this series, because again, I look at, well, first and foremost, remember VQ and how they played Rise during MSP Grand Finals on Clocktower. They were able to beat them very convincingly and decisively. They looked great. And Rise is one of the best Clocktower teams we have in the Pro League. But when it comes down to Pittsburgh Knights, they've shown great composure, beating E United on this map. And let me remind you once again, Monkyz, whenever they did beat EU, went 13 eliminations strong. Now, I think it was there was a couple of like shining moments, I believe, from Dezo, if I'm not mistaken. Right, we're now getting pretty much into the future, and it's like, you know, that's I believe I want to say like almost a month ago at this point. But regardless, though, Monkyz, great player on the map of Clocktower. And let's also not forget that PK right now is playing, they're playing hard. They are going for it. And we've already seen a close series up until this point. So at this point, you can't count out PK. And as you said, this is one of the best maps to finish off this series with across all series. And it's anybody's ball game. It truthfully is.
Yeah, I think this map is like the full bounce play. I know I talked about checkout. I feel like if you're not going forward, you're probably not winning that map because it is very, very aggressive heavy. What you do in the start of the rounds really dictates how you're going to play the remaining of that one particular round, obviously said, but it builds that momentum. It puts that threat into the enemy team's eyes. They're forcing them to switch up the strategy. But on Clocktower, you could play aggressive. We've seen teams send 4 up tart to start off some of these games, and these things end in a matter of seconds. But we've also seen the opposite, where both teams hit that line, they hit the back pillar, and they stare at each other for 2 minutes straight without a single utility thrown. That's why I love the map, because you're able to kind of have the different play styles, but you also have those trick strats, sending players down low, having a late rotation up top. That's why I think this is just the perfect map in Gears Esports, and it's been so since Gears of War 1. I'll go ahead and say it.
Well, you know, quite honestly, Jacob, I love watching the nade fights now, and nades have been so impactful, more so even at times than the long shot or the torque bow that you can acquire and pick up. So I want to see great nade placements and nade plays in general. Honestly, whoever can utilize those nades the best is most likely going to end up ahead. And I believe player 8 is working his way down, but Deza going for the quick pick, and he's going to be successful. The stun's going to be thrown out. VQ doesn't even attempt to go forward with it, but PK goes for the nades, baby. I'm telling you.
I mean, we kind of said it in the beginning, the day number one during this Pro League debut of the map on Clocktower. I said it, you're going to see a lot of aggressive strats up top because it's so fresh, it's so new. But if any of you guys really watched some Gears of War 1, you sprinkle in a little bit of Gears of War 3 when things did change up a little bit. Gears of War Ultimate Edition as well, with the digger, the drop shots, the boom shots out wide, with the addition, or I should say the subtraction of certain covers down low, it makes it more utilized. It's very, very different, you know, considering if you think of Ascension as well, where everybody went outside. It's no longer the case here, because if you play down low, your opponent has to make that decision up top. They have to get aggressive and get something. Otherwise, you're getting nades for free, and you're escaping with that position to be able to push up top unscathed, and you're going to have to save them and create some dysfunction. But up top comes a push for PK. They're going for a sniper, but a flank coming through. Precision gets one, but he goes down. He wasn't able to pick it up just yet. Monkyz being the hero that they need. The CQC, the revives coming through. Nobody from Vanquish is there to try to even up this fight.
And Xysho wanted to go for that, but I believe it was Raver who had the off angle and forced Xysho back in position and ultimately did not allow him to push forward. So great job for Raver to get the cross. Nade's going to be thrown out, but I believe this is going to be all she wrote for Acells, and it will be. What looked to be a devastating start for PK. Obviously, Monkyz now getting the revives. Raver getting the cross onto Xysho. PK played that very well and turned a bad situation into a perfect one.
Yep, and it goes to show. You saw the mismatch coming through. PK, they did that strategy. They wanted that sniper. Precision had other thoughts. He went for a little bit of flank, cut in between, but Monkyz, I don't know if he's playing line. I don't know if he's on that host spot, is the hero at the end of the day to catch Precision slipping. And if Precision goes through, gets one of those eliminations, it could be a different story in the end. But you see a 4 up top coming through from PK. They're not slowing down. They're not trying to fall to change their game plan. Quick early down from Monkyz. A second shot being connected from Dezonide, and you can see they're not pushing up for those eliminations because they did their job. They're not getting greedy. They're not biting off more than they can chew. They got the sniper, and now they're going ahead to try to put it to use.
Hndles picks up those nades, and last time he had those in his hands, he was able, or at least not last round, but first round, he was able to pick up 2 members from PK. Precision is really testing his destiny, testing his luck, though, going for that challenge on Dezo. Dezo wants that shot. That's another body, but no one is there to capitalize. Woo! There it is.
Headshot. You told him, you tested him. Playing with your food, you don't do that against Dezonide. But the frag grenades, I do believe, are still in the hands of Hndles down low. He's trying to create some separation and force a 1v1 altercation here, or possibly go for that angle from down low. Grenade the host spot with PK, the mismatch, 3v2 up top. One player goes down. Raver falls as well. Dezonide trying to even things up. When it was a massive advantage from PK, goes right out the window. And it's once again this man with everything on his shoulders to try to complete the round. It's Monkyz in a 1v2 situation against Acells and Hndles, Astro Battles champions. If anybody can do it, though, it is Monkyz.
Yeah, absolutely. And he just about gets the knock on Hndles, but I think he's just a couple percentage away, and the first execution of the entire series coming out. But if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Hndles.
Back and forth action there for that one. Great headshot by Dezonide. They did a good job of realizing that situation they're in. A 3v2 advantage, but I don't know how they did it. I don't know how they were able to hold on in the end, but VQ fought back tooth and nail to really tie this one up, or at least take one up in the series. And that was something big. That's a momentum shifter.
All right, let's get into round number 4. Hndles down low. You gotta respect him. But Precision, whoa! Precision gets the nades out of nowhere. Despite Hndles being down there, they'll double back. Dezo has the snipe, forced to rotate out though because there's a nade too. Can Monkyz get out? I think he did, yes. But still, one more remains.
Nice bounce, but unable to connect. Dezonide returning that. Oh man, I didn't want to say too much. I was saying returning that spot where he was able to crack a player once. This is where it's going to slow down a little bit. I don't know how many grenades. I'm trying to look if they have at least one left on the side of Precision. It's about baiting these players in, but Xysho goes down. They're not letting Precision use them. Acells trying to even it up. Hndles falls as well. Precision all by his lonesome at the bottom half of the map. Uses that frag grenade to create some separation, which is why he's trying to push the 1v1. He gets spotted over the top. Dezonide trying to line up a shot. He misses. That's the opportunity he needs, but backtracking in his place. Raver not giving up the 1v1, not giving up the CQC, keeping the advantage intact and tying it up at 2 rounds apiece.
My goodness, send it to round 11 already, right? Just cut and kill the suspense at this point, because you already know where we're heading. At this moment, though, VQ has yet to stop Dezo getting that snipe, Jacob. They just have yet to do so. They just about did it, but ultimately, you know, Monkyz was able to get the revive. Raver got his cross, but here we go, man. Heading into yet another fresh round. Hndles going to be down low, kept in check by Raver. Up top, I believe VQ might have an opportunity to go for the snipe. This is the first time they've had this chance.
To the page, but look at Hndles playing aggressive. As soon as he sees him escape towards the top side of the map, Hndles is going to push up down low and create some disruption, trying to catch some players off guard. My biggest question right now is, did Raver spot him pushing up? Does he know that threat is there? Everyone backtracking off the line. You see the movements and the rotations coming through, and I think that last move from Hndles gave up his position. He definitely knows he's there now from Monkyz on the side of PK, but they have the frag towards the top. They're trying to angle out precision, and he escapes with his life. That's definitely going to give up a massive advantage here. Now PK needs to make the decision. Do you push a 4v3 up top, or do you try to backtrack down low?
Xysho gets the drop on a Sumuns. Hold up. Maybe this is the opportunity. You got to make this push, VQ, but all members back up into play. Now you got Hndles though coming from the flank, but who do you favor in this moment? You got to think maybe VQ, but unfortunately Hndles by himself, but gets away with his life. There's no way. Precision has a snipe up top, but no one's connecting at the moment. Xysho will finally take down Sumuns, but it's a 3v3. And honestly, I think for this entire round, missed opportunities from both PK and VQ.
Yep. I would say luckily for both these teams, able to come out with it on top. Hndles gets caught by himself across the map. Somehow Sumuns gets taken out, trying to be the Euro. 20 seconds left. That hill will pop it, and I want to guess it's down low based off of where PK is kind of giving up this positioning, but maybe not. Maybe it is up top, as you see them on one side of the map trying to take the position. It is going to pop up top in less than 10 seconds. Separated is going to be PK. They have two on one side, one on the other, but they have to make sure they play into the team game. Flash towards the left side. Only a few seconds left. Hill is going to pop now, and they're going for this early capture.
Ooh, and they get the early capture. I mean, just the way this is playing out is just insanity. And I mean, just to break it down, Jacob, let's talk about it. First, Raver gets the nades at the beginning, and then he whiffs the nades, right? Which is just a big missed opportunity. Precision finds a pixel to stay alive. Then ultimately, you have VQ getting a ton of downs on PK, but they don't fully commit for the push. Hndles gets isolated by himself, but then ultimately Xysho gets the clutch at the end. So it was like just so many misplays ultimately into a good play for VQ, but it's just been a crazy map. But Dezo's going for the quick pick again, back to his old tricks.
Goes in for that sniper. It's been working for him. It's definitely been what's working on the side of PK. Oh, this could be the threads the needle there.
At the end.
Barely misses, exactly. And now you see the extension down low. You see Hndles. He could catch somebody off guard. If they don't know Hndles is there, which he gives up his business by picking it up, he could try to catch somebody off guard, being sneaky, thinking nobody tested for the grenades. Just jet by PK. Dezonide gets the one headshot onto Acells, and that makes that grenades that much more important from Hndles down low. But he has to figure out a way to get into the mix. He has to figure out a way to escape this trap he's in down low between Monkyz and Dezonide.
Well, with the hill being down low, he's not in a terrible spot to be in, though. With the nades, Monkyz, though, will get the torque. Now, I have seen time in and time out teams get the long shot and have the torque bow with the hill down low for the overtime and then ultimately lose. So this isn't a guaranteed round by any means for PK. This is most likely going to go ahead and extend out, and I believe a long shot should be picked up top for VQ. So ultimately for Monkyz and Dezo, they're going to have to keep their head down, and I'm going to be looking I think at precision later on once the long shot does come back into play to maybe make that move. But either way, PK, they're not going to waste the time. They're going to rotate back up top and maybe try to force the fight before the overtime hill takes place.
Trying to catch somebody slipping. This is what I always like to see when the sniper is in play. You got to have somebody. And not Dezonide in this situation because he does have the sniper. Somebody has to bait out these shots. A short flash coming through. Frag grenades to buy him even more time. 10 seconds left. The hill is down low. If he can hold on to one of these frags, that could be good for Hndles. But you see PK scouring around. They're moving left and right. They could be the ones into the hill, but no explosive on the side of VQ. One grenade going through. Somebody's trying to get in the hill. That's Xysho. Eliminations back and forth being traded off. Hndles going to be the the hero. He gets the down, but the eliminations in favor of PK as they tie it up 3-3. And if this one continues the way that what we're seeing so far, we're going to have yet another round number 11 on our hands.
Brother, like I said, just cut the suspense, man. Send it to a round 11 at this point. I mean, that's kind of all that's going to happen. We know where this is going, but tough break for Hndles to get caught down low, and PK played that very well. But VQ put up a good fight. They really did, and Hndles had an opportunity maybe to pick up the two-piece at the end. This time, though, Precision is going to go down low and pick up those nades. Hndles is going to try and get his cross, but gotta watch out from up top. Precision forced to dip out. Now, that's going to leave 2 players down low. Meanwhile, PK has 3 up top. 7 will join into the mix, so it's going to be a bit even. I know it's still 2 up top for VQ, right? So PK might be able to get the pick on the snipe, but looks like they do get away, but Sumuns does in fact pick up the snipe, so that's what he needed to do.
Yep, now it's basically frag grenades versus sniper. We've seen this before with that. Oh, towards the pocket. He takes a lot of damage. He even goes down there trying to clean it up. Precision. He doesn't get it. The damage mitigation allows for Sumuns to survive. He hesitates on throwing that frag grenade, and it's all to waste. The only advantage that they had out the window, giving it on over to Sumuns. And if you guys know Sumuns from Gears of War 3, he is definitely a feared sniper, and you see the full rotation coming through from PK. Raver has that torque foe. Vanquish don't want to let this damage go to waste. They hunt down Monkyz. They get themselves the man advantage for V3, but all the weapons in the hands of PK. But 2 of those members are stuck in the frag grenades. You got to wonder, what can PK do to get out of this situation?
I think PK's going to be okay. I don't know. The way that they're down, like, all right, if VQ had nades, things could get really messy. But Raver, yeah, I mean, because where are you going to go,
it's
really?
Scary.
It could be scary, but I think PK's going to be okay here, especially with Raver having the torch, Sumuns having the snipe, and, you know, obviously, you know you want Dezo to have that in that moment, but I guess Sumuns is it. But Sumuns can hit some really impressive shots, but 15 seconds overtime hill starts. But I guess this is a terrible spot to be in, Jacob. I thought it wasn't going to be as bad, but that Lancer fire is just as deadly as the snipe and the torque bow combined.
Yeah, they're watching up top, converging on the angle.
Nice
That
shot.
torque bow is huge. 1v1 situation here. Precision can take some damage towards the backside. He gets downed out. Elimination being picked up. A huge grenade from Dezonide. And I believe maybe even Sumuns to secure that clutch play. The back and forth action has finally stopped as PK win 2 in a row.
My goodness, that was a total collapse. We'll get a replay of that one. Raver, great connection, pulls out the Nasher. Precision, the next victim. He goes down. The nades come through, and Dezo picks up Xysho and Acells. Worst case scenario, but made great for PK. And like you said, PK chains 2 together, right? We no longer are just going round to round. But as I've said before, man, they are allowing this long shot to get out basically for free. Precision goes back to his old ways to try and go for the challenge, but PK gets out, plus they get a pick.
I think they're getting desperate. They're beginning to crumble right now on the side of VQ. I don't think, because of those 2 rounds in a row, they're not confident in continuing that same strategies in which won then that championship. Dezonide moving up to the possession. We've seen him get some headshots from this host spot before, trying to keep these players guessing, and gets another one onto Acells, taking over the game for PK and the Latin American region as a whole. 9 kills.
Yeah, look, I told you Monkyz last time pulled up, but Dezo is looking to take his place now as the top stat leader, at least for phase 2 on Clocktower. This would be a big victory for Pittsburgh Knights, a massive, massive victory for Xysho and Hndles. There's really nowhere to go, I guess, but forward, and that's exactly what they're going to do, but I have to assume their lives are going to be short-lived. Hndles will be finished off, Xysho is down, and PK at map point, series point.
Yeah, one of my biggest thoughts there, I don't even know if I said it, it's been so action-packed as VQ's looking a little slow, looking a little light, looking like they're crumbling before our very eyes, and PK, they're not letting up off the gas, just like Dezonide, 9-1. Everybody is just doing their part to perfection, and it comes through. Even Raver is going ahead and separating the defense. They're making sure to make Vanquish second guess themselves on every one of these rounds, but it's all up to here for VQ. Backs up against the wall, need to win 3 straight to take the map, but 4 up top coming through from PK. They want to end it with a 4-man push.
Oh, big kills though coming out from VQ off the rip. At least one player is going to drop off. Precision though being pressured up. He's going to be finished off. Now Hndles last alive, and PK, I can't believe it. They have done it in game 5. They get the 6-3 victory, 3-2 victory overall in the series, and PK my goodness, pulls off a massive upset to start off our final split for the season 2. I'm blown away. Well done, PK.
I'm just looking at chat right now. I'm just looking, where's that drop Dezo talk at now, folks? Where is it at now? But honestly, that man just put on a clinic for us. That man put on a show, headshot after headshot, and it just proved Vanquish was unable to keep the sniper out of their hands, and PK controlled their own destiny the entirety of the way, from playing down low, 4 mans up top, getting that sniper out alive. Didn't matter what strategy they used. They were very, very confident and closed it out in the end.
I voted for VQ and they lose. You know what I'm saying? I voted for VQ and they lose.
Put this man on the payroll, VQ.
Look, 1,000 people can vote for VQ and they're okay. But as soon as I vote for VQ, they're going to lose. They're going to, at this point, it's just crazy. Like, I can't win. It's just, honestly, I want to bow out of the prediction thing. You're already the champion, brother. I'm done because I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this, Jacob. This is ridiculous. I single-handedly beat VQ every time. It's
single-handedly. PK Reflections. You guys heard it here first. It could be PK Reflections, EU Reflections. It's just down with VK if he predicts them. Honestly, I expect your DMs to be filled either tomorrow, next week, the next time PK plays and you're covering. The morning. Make sure you guys hit up Reflections in the morning. Don't give him time to think about his predictions. You guys got to pay the man to root against you at this point.
You know, it's so funny though, because I would always go with PK in the past, but I mean, how could you go with PK without them been performing? But my goodness, clearly they have, I don't know, fresh energy. They just looked incredible. Like, the series was so close, but go back to the beginning, Jacob. We started with District 300-90. Just, I mean, an absolute beatdown, brother. I mean, absolute 300-90. VQ looked incredible, but then slowly but surely they started to come back, and Pittsburgh Knights just was making it happen. And you know what's going to haunt VQ tonight, quite honestly, is that one round on checkout. If they would have just closed it out, remember, they were up 5-1, Jacob. 5-1. They won Trading Grounds. If they would have won checkout, they would have closed out that final round. They would have won 3-0, but instead they end up losing 3-2.